So here it goes. This one is called A Family Portrait. It has been on my mind for quite a while, and like most things in life, it revealed different parts of itself at various moments, almost as if waiting on certain events to decide how I wanted to be painted. It first appeared a few years back while working with my therapist on my relationship with my parents. Then again, when I was reading an article on responsibility with my coach and discussing how sometimes parents can feel responsible for their child's life even years after their actual responsibility had ended. Then again, when I learned the concept of the inner child and how to ask him what he needed, what he wanted. Years later, my spiritual guide will teach me to accept the gifts from both sides of my family and claim them as mine. It's meant to be a healing piece, a reminder, and a portal. The people standing behind me are my parents, and the person I am holding in my arms is myself as a baby. The images of mom, dad, and myself as a baby are based on a picture taken a few years before my father died. They must have been in their late 20s since my father died at age 29 when I was 4. My mother says she had decided to dress me as a sailor because I was chubby and cute, and the outfit was popular then. She wore a stunning white dress and looked at the camera with a fierce look that carries the role she had to play in her family system. My father, a sweet soul, a brilliant mind with a peaceful presence. He made everyone around him feel unique and seen, an inviting and expansive soul. They were such a contrasting couple that until today it still surprises me how they managed to be together. It also amazes me that my mom and I lived together for so many years, given how different we are from each other. When the picture this painting is partially based on was taken, these people were living the happiest years of their marriage, and they had no clue both of their lives were about to change drastically after a car accident. I started painting mom, then moved on to my father, then to myself as an adult, and finally the baby. I don't think that sequence was a coincidence. I don't think anything is. She was easier to paint. It was almost as if she was holding my hand and painting a self-portrait. It knew where each eye was, each bone, each wrinkle. How could it not? I had seen her crying every day for almost 3 years after she became a widow. I had fallen asleep in her arms while she tried unsuccessfully to do so because her grief kept her away. I knew that face like the back of my hand, or rather, my soul did. That's why it picked her as my mother. The lesson there, of course, was to learn how to see her differently now, past her pain and mistakes. And by noticing what she wasn't, I started seeing who she was. That's exactly what happened in the last 3 years after I allowed myself to be a son and I allowed her to be a mom. My father, on the other hand, painting him was challenging. He had particular nuances that made his face harder to paint. One missed angle in the cheekbone and it will be a completely different person. One more line of volume in the lips and it will have told a different story. One wrong curvature in the eyes and they wouldn't sing love. His eyes had a downward angle in the corners, one of them with a sharper contrast. Everything about him was incredibly intriguing, or perhaps these were things about him he wanted me to be conscious of, since they exist in me too. The more complex the feature, the stronger the message. You too, he would say as I painted it. This that you see exists in you too, son. Can you see it? It took me about 3 months to paint myself. In the process, I was able to remember the decisions I had made when I painted my parents and notice how some of them translated almost exactly to me, while others were clearly a combination that produced something new. The most complex part were my eyes. A professor pointed out that my eyes were bigger than I was noticing. A couple of brushstrokes made a huge difference. The eyes carried so many stories, memories, and wisdom. They could see the invisible, and as I painted them, they could finally speak. The family portrait was then an official acceptance of the blessings passed on to me by mom and dad. I took their gift and shamelessly claimed them as mine. The love, my father's passion for the arts, his dancing skills, and his wisdom. He places his hand on my shoulder so I don't forget he never left, because we all know that they never do. He blesses the journey of the prince, as he is present for the whole system, although not in a material form. I took my mother's courage, humor, leadership, and joy, and most importantly, I saw the things in them that exist in me, but are yet to be expressed. I can see and feel the seed. In connection with my future self, I can see the road. The baby was the easiest, and his features are the least precise of the 4 subjects. I'm still getting to know him, but I don't have to. I just have to let him teach me things when I am ready to learn them. Out of the 4 people in the painting, he's the one that's truly present, truly living. The painting was a way to honor the work mom and dad had done, as well as other people involved in my upbringing. It releases them from the responsibility of my life and passes on that authority to my own hands. It signals the concept of learning what it means to take care of yourself, what it means to become your own parent, what it means to make decisions and understand what this baby craves. For instance, I realize now that this wasn't like any other baby. He might have special needs, he's a bit more sensitive, he's a poet, an artist, and he likes to experience the world in a particular way. He likes his solitude, and sometimes he gets too scared. There's a lot of pain body that comes with it, and an enormous potential to create and see beauty. The background claims the importance of our history and land as crucial characters in our stories and future. A broken bridge divides 2 classes in a collapsing city. An object that's meant to unite divides. The river is tumultuous and carries the dirt its leaders had tried to hide. It also holds the crosses and souls of those who were brave enough to speak up back then and who had transitioned as a result. Nevertheless, the family system stands attentive, dignified, and alert. They watch and speak without words until the time comes for truth to be waves. Thank you.